Hey everybody, it's Carol with Refunction Crafts, and today I'm just going to bring to you this little Happy Mail video that I just couldn't wait to put this one up. So I'm going to do this today, and this is a journal that I received from a dear friend of mine, Deanna Grooms. Thank you so much, Deanna. This really means a lot to me, and the thought and work that went into this is just amazing. You know, I've received some journals from a couple of my subscribers, and I really love them. It's one of the things that I don't make journals necessarily. I make little blank journals and sell them for people to finish. But I have not sat down and just made a junk journal myself, which is something that I aspire to do. I just haven't done it yet. And Deanna had asked me a whole bunch of questions a little while back, trying to get information on some of my favorite things. One of the things that she asked me about was who would be my favorite Disney princess. And of course, I picked Cinderella because as a child, Cinderella was my princess, my Disney princess. And that was before all these other ones came about, and there's 100 of them for you to choose from. Back then, we had, you know, Cinderella and Snow White and Sleeping Beauty and a couple of others. And that was it. And they were so beautiful, and their stories were so wonderful and magical and whatever you want to say. But anyway, Cinderella was absolutely by far my favorite. So anyway, she asked me some other questions. My favorite musician, my favorite colors, and things like that. So in this book are the answers to those questions that she asked me several months ago, and she just finished it. I got this yesterday, and I was so excited. Actually, it made me cry because she really went into so much detail in you know, just listening to the information that I gave her. I didn't know what she was doing with that information. She just asked me these questions and I answered them, and this is what came about from that. So she used a little golden book as the cover. How awesome is that? So that is what the cover is. So she, I'm sure, cut it and then used a piece of cardboard to put on the side here, and used that as the cover. And you can see it's very thick, and it's got lots of goodies in it. So I'm just going to kind of go through this and show you guys what she did, and it's so awesome. On the inside, she put this beautiful applique on the front page, and look at this paper. Isn't that gorgeous? But she put a little pink pen, or actually, I don't know if it's a pen, and it's a shaker wand. How gorgeous is that? I love it. And that is my princess's wand. A dream is a wish your heart makes. And all of the quotes and things in here are just amazing. So, of course, this is the beginning of the book. And she put lace on the edge of some of the pages, but she put the book pages throughout here. Now, Paul Newman, and I don't remember if I said something about this or if I put it in one of my videos or what have you. Paul Newman is one of the actors that I have met. I met him about, I'm going to say about 25 years ago. Something like that. It was a long time ago. And this was when I worked at the time I worked for an insurance company, and I worked for their foundation. And at that time I was a project coordinator for foundation events. We would do lots of dinner engagements, and I would coordinate the volunteers for volunteer events for lots of different nonprofit agencies and things like that. Well, Paul Newman was the creator of the Hole in the Wall Gang Foundation. And what it was camps that kids, disadvantaged kids would go to and spend, a couple of weeks there. I can't remember if it was disadvantaged or kids with cancer. I can't remember. Anyway, so my boss at the time, the director of the foundation, she and I were very, very close. And she was on a lot of different boards for different nonprofits. And she happened to be on the board of directors for the Hole in the Wall gang camps. And so she, of course, she knew Paul Newman very well. She knew Priscilla Presley and a bunch of other high-profile actors and Hollywood types. And so I got to meet lots of people when I was working for her. And Paul had come to an event that we were holding it was actually at our office out in Orange County. And so he came to that event, and she was sure to bring him over. I was running one of the booths, and she brought him over. And at that time, he was in his 80s. What a beautiful, beautiful man he was. She brought him over, and he was very frail at the time. He came over and he gave me the biggest hug. And to me, that was a big deal. I mean, that was Paul Newman, and wow, I was just so excited at the time. So Paul Newman is a man that I got to meet and actually get a hug from. Look at this. And she put this in there. And a little quote that says, Paul Newman came to be known as one of the finest actors of his time with films like Cool Hand Luke and The Hustler. He also started the Newman's own food company, which donates all profits to charity. Now, it doesn't mention his Hole in the Wall gang camps, but he did also start that as well. So, yeah. Very cool, Deanna. Very, very cool. And this is a little page on the fairy godmother, and she stuck some beautiful rub-ons, which I love, love, love. So I will be using those for sure. And lately I've been having trouble finding rub-on decals. So I was very excited when I saw these in here because I've got some to use now. So again, more pages. And then one on Mickey Mouse. The character was co-created in 1928, which was 3 years after my mother was born. So that's awesome. Isn't this great, you guys? She put a nice paper doily in the center here. And then she put coloring book pages in here. And I'll show you at the very end what she added that's really super cool. And then in here, she added some charms in some of the pages. There are so many beautiful reasons to be happy. Absolutely. And then she put some music pages in here, Patience and Confession. So I thought that was really beautiful. And all of the music pages are the same. So yeah, and then we've got this page that opens up, and this talks about Mickey Mouse, the creator, and all of the different information on Mickey Mouse. This is something that I will absolutely pass down to my daughter because she is a Disney freak. My daughter loves Disneyland, and she worked at Disneyland for 3 or 4 summers when she was going to college. Talks about the prints here, the meaning behind every rose color. So that's what this is here, which is pretty cool. And look at this page. She put this beautiful sequined piece And I think she probably made this button with the dragonfly in the center. Isn't that gorgeous? And this is a little card that she made. This was something she had sent me a photo of this front of this card showing, here's a little sneak preview of what I'm sending you. It's got my favorite butterfly on it. Sending you a special Easter wish. So this was sort of an Easter gift to me, and I just thought it was amazing. She's just so thoughtful. Oh my goodness, she is so thoughtful. And this talks about Easter and, let's see, chocolate, the story of the Easter Bunny, and that Easter is an important Christian festival. So these all talk about Easter. And look at this. Isn't this gorgeous? This is one of those velvet coloring pieces. Isn't that gorgeous? I love it. And here we have a couple more pages from the book. And I think I've got the whole entire book in here. Bugs Bunny. And how Bugs Bunny was the actual Warner Brothers, let's see, what did they call him? I read it somewhere in here. I don't know. Anyway, he was like the mascot, the Warner Brothers mascot. And it said he went from being a simple and unnamed rabbit in Porky Pig cartoon in 1938 to the official mascot for Warner Brothers. So in 1938. I do love Bugs Bunny. He's my favorite Warner Brothers cartoon character. So, look. And here's some more stuff that I can color in. Look at this. How beautiful that is. And she just did a beautiful job. And I've got a blank page here that I can play with. More coloring pages. Love grows here. Look at this. And she put some of her beautiful wedding dress appliques in here. And here is Hershey's is my favorite candy bar with almonds, of course. The Hershey's milk chocolate bar with almonds is my favorite candy bar, and I eat one of these every single day of my life. I have for the last several years. I love my Hershey bars. So this talks about Milton Hershey and just the information on the Hershey Company. How awesome is that? I mean, this is so cool. So she got my favorite candy bar in there. And this opens up and also talks about Milton Hershey. And we've just got all kinds of information here about the Hershey Company and how it started and all of that great stuff. Isn't that awesome? I love this. And then these beautiful pages. Look at this paper here. Isn't that gorgeous? And this one. But I love this. This is like my favorite paper ever, I think. More book pages. Have courage and be kind. She knows be kind is my favorite saying. And there is my favorite musician, Mr. Chris Stapleton. I love him so much. I love the song Tennessee Whiskey. But I love Chris Stapleton. I think he's a beautiful, beautiful, soulful musician. And since he came out into country music, I've just been a huge fan. So he is awesome. If you can listen to some of his music, look him up on YouTube and listen to some of his beautiful songs. They're just very, very soulful. Somewhere Over the Rainbow. So this goes into my Wizard of Oz favorites. Isn't that awesome? And it's got the lyrics to the song Somewhere Over the Rainbow. And look at this. We've got Dorothy and Toto and another hanging charm. And this talks about who the people in The Wizard of Oz were and some of the makers and all of that stuff. We've got our Tin Man and the Scarecrow. And so each one of these talks about each of these actors. Look at how awesome this is. Can you believe this? I am just in love with this journal. And the Wicked Witch of the East. I think she was the East. Yeah, I think it was the East. And then Glenda, the Good Witch. And I love these shoes. She sent me a couple of these shoes, these filigree shoes before. And I actually got a couple of them aside that I'm planning on doing some. In fact, I've got this one that I just glittered up a couple of days ago. So I'm going to be using this in something. I put some stickles on it and I'm just getting it ready to use. And this is the regarding, you know, some of the characters in Wizard of Oz. And here's a music page. And again, this beautiful, beautiful paper. And in the back, she put some of these little markers that I can color the pages that are coloring book pages. Isn't that awesome and thoughtful? Oh my gosh. So Deanna, you couldn't have hit the nail on the head any better. Thank you, thank you, thank you, my dear friend. I am so in awe of you and your kindness and the work that you put into this. Wow, I'm just, my heart is just amazed and my cup runneth over. So thank you so much, Deanna, for doing this really special journal for me. It is very special to me and I will always, always treasure it. So thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. Everybody, that's it for this video. I just wanted to show you this beautiful, beautiful journal that I got. And I'll be working on some other videos later today. So take care, God bless, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.